The pods are loaded and the lights are flashing. It's time for Elimination Chamber predictions. Hello, I'm Thomas Emeric, and welcome back to our quick episode of Against the Ropes this week. With me, as always, is my tag team partner and co-host, Taylor Berkowitz.
As you can see, Thomas, I lost my hair versus hair match. Thankfully, I lost it to my hairstylist, so it came out pretty well.
Well, the shoulders are down, and the ref has started the count, so let's get to the show.
Before we get things started with our predictions, some breaking news to start off. As it was sadly reported on Tuesday, legendary pro wrestling promoter and father of WWE Hall of Famer Jerry Jarrett, has passed away at the age of 80. We here at Against the Ropes would like to send our deepest condolences to the entire Jarrett family. Now please join us in a 10-bell salute as we honor the memory of Jerry Jarrett.
Thank you. Now let's get the engines revved up as we've got one more stop on the road to WrestleMania in Los Angeles. Coming up this Saturday, 6 male superstars will compete for the United States Championship inside the Elimination Chamber, and 6 women superstars will step inside the brutal Elimination Chamber for a shot at Bianca Belair and the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. In addition to the 2 chamber matches, there will be 3 other matches taking place on the show. Sami Zayn against Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Universal Championship, The Beast, Brock Lesnar against the Almighty Bobby Lashley, and in mixed tag team action, the Rated R Superstar Edge and the Glamazon Beth Phoenix will be taking on 2 members of the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Mommy Rhea Ripley.
All right, so let's start off with the mixed tag match. Is going to be the Rated R Superstar Edge and the Glamazon Beth Phoenix taking on Finn Balor and Mommy Rhea Ripley. Tom, who do you have on this one? Take it away.
I'm going with the hometown heroes of Toronto. That is the Rated R Superstar Edge and Beth Phoenix.
I got to question your Canadian knowledge here because Montreal and Toronto don't really get along. So.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all my Canadian fans watching out there.
He'll buy you a poutine. It's okay. Are you still going with that? I mean, it's not hometown, so that makes me believe that they have a better shot of winning.
It's close, you know.
I've done
still
that
in
drive.
Canada.
It is. I mean, if you've done the drive on the 401, it's watch out for the potholes. Just so you know, watch out for the potholes. Listen. I think this is. I think this is a beat. Well, I don't know. I mean, you're obviously not going to have the mixed tag at Mania. I think it's definitely setting things up for probably an Edge Finn Balor match at Mania, and obviously from here you've got Rhea moving on to the main event and to Charlotte. Mm-hmm. So it does seem like a good time for a little bit of a blow off of this feud. Mm-hmm. I tend to think they like to drag these things out, but I will go with Edge and Beth taking this one.
All right, so next let's talk about Brock Lesnar against Bobby who?
Bobby Lashley.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Bobby Lashley. So, Burke, who are you going with this?
I'm going to say this is going to be some sort of schmoz. I really think this is building towards another Bobby Brock match on a bigger stage. I don't think this is the end. I think this is going to, in some way, shape, or form, be the full setup for Bobby Lashley rejoining the Hurt Business, which, by the way, I didn't watch Raw this week. So if that happened on Raw fully, you'll have to fill me in. But I think it's going to set something up for that. So I think this is going to involve, Cedric Alexander, MVP, and somehow it's going to be a no contest or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you, but if this match does actually take place, I'm gonna have to go with Brock Lesnar coming out victorious, and I think Brock Lesnar, he's just gonna dominate Bobby Lashley as he always does. So that's why I'm going with the Beast.
He's got to get his win back at this point. And this would be a big, good time to get that done. We have our first Elimination Chamber match where the winner will face Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. As of now, the match entrants are Asuka, Nikki Cross, the Princess of Staten Island, Carmella, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, she's still Raquel Gonzalez to me, and Natty. So who is walking out of the Elimination Chamber to face Bianca Belair?
I'm going with Asuka on this one because we've really seen a different side of Asuka lately since she's come back at the Rumble. She's I think she's really shown her heel side. And I think she's the most likely challenger for Bianca Belair at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I agree. I think Asuka is going to win this again. I think she is the most natural person to have that big Mania spot. The presentation, the entrance, all that stuff is geared towards Mania. Mm-hmm. Again, Raquel Rodriguez Gonzalez, whatever she's going by now, there's going to be a push for her. I think she's going to look good. I just don't think she's ready for that Mania spot and that singles spot at this point. And again, considering that you have a, kind of a heel versus heel match in Charlotte and Rhea set up, I think you're going to need a couple of big baby faces that the fans are really behind in the other women's match. So I'm going to go with Asuka on this one.
And now let's talk about our second Elimination Chamber match, where the United States Champion Austin Theory will be defending his title in this barbaric structure against Seth freaking Rollins, Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, and Montez Ford. Burke, who's walking out as the United States Champion?
I think it's going to still be Austin Theory. Again, I think it is... I think it's kind of clear that they're setting Seth up for a Logan Paul match at Mania.
Logan has been amazing.
So you're a Logan Paul fan. You're on the Logan Paul bandwagon.
Well, I think it's hard not to just respect what he has done. He's unbelievable. He came in there just... How about when he selfie? Oh, my God. He was up on the top. Seth, I see you go up there before. Yeah. He was up on the top with a selfie. Hey, Seth. This is what he did.
Yeah.
Boom!
Frog splash!
With the camera on him. Bang!
Wait. So all of us who've come off the top rope before, it's not as special because we just didn't have a camera pointed at our own stupid face.
Oh, you got to do Stu's job, too. Stu's cameraman there. Yeah.
We have people whose job it is to shoot us and make us. I don't need a selfie to make myself look good.
It was cool, though.
It was so cool.
It was so cool. It was so
cool. The guy
cool.
doesn't care about nothing but himself, man.
Whoa!
He don't care about nothing but himself.
Yeah, brother.
Look, I can respect the hustle, all right? I respect the hustle. I really do, because it takes hustle to get where he's at and to get the opportunities that he's got. But at the end of the day, it's about passion. He no one's just going to suit up and play NFL football because they're a social media superstar, right? They're going to get creamed. So he's going to step into my world, and he's going to get creamed. And if you want to contribute and you want to give back to our industry, you're a fan of it. You're a fan of it. You love it, right, Pat? Yeah. You're a fan of it. You love it. You give back to it. You talk about it any chance you get. You put it over.
Hell yeah.
You love it. That's not him, dude. That's not him. He's in it for himself.
Oh.
He's in it for himself. He's in it for his own gain. So I don't want you a part of my business if you're just going to leech off of it and you're going to take from it. Great if you're going to come and you're going to help out and you're going to make everything as good as you can. But if you're going to come and you're going to do it for you, and look, I can only judge based on what he's done in the past, his own history, because that's a foretelling for the future. That's why I don't like the guy. That's why I don't dig the guy. And he's going to go rub it in on social media. He's going to talk his talk, but he don't want to say nothing to my face.
What?
He don't want to say nothing in my face.
That
man.
doesn't sound like
He wants to-
Logan.
oh no, it doesn't sound like Logan. Yeah, right. He of course not. With that,
He fought Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
right? Fought
He
Floyd
boxes.
Mayweather.
Oh!
Sanctioned match.
Right.
I didn't expect this to turn into this.
I'm
Jeez.
just saying. You can love him all you want. He's polarizing. But for me, he's not for me. He's just not my cup of tea. So, you know what?
Man.
If he wants to say something in my face, then we can talk about it. We can talk about it if he wants to
Okay.
do that. I'm an easy guy to find,
Yeah,
right?
look at you.
I'm an
Walking around.
I'm peacocking left and
Oh,
right.
actual peacock
Ba,
feathers.
ba. But you know where to find me every Monday night. I show up. I go to work. I put in the time. I respect the business. I respect what we have to do day-to-day grind. You know where to find me. Logan Paul, I don't know where to find. I can fly down to Puerto Rico and try to find him.
Yeah.
I think that's where he lives or something like that.
Montez Ford is going to get a push at some point as a single star, but I don't think you can do that before you have a breakup of the Street Profits. So I don't think he's the guy. Everybody else, I think they're all going to look good. I love to see Bronson Reed, again, formerly Jonah and Jonah Rock. I'd love to see him with that strap. I think he's tremendous. I just don't see them throwing it on him right now. So I think Austin Theory, between his, charisma, his ability to talk and pump up a match, I think he's the guy going into Mania.
So for me, I'm gonna have to go with Austin Theory retaining his United States champion. But honestly, I would love to see, which I don't think they're going to do this, unfortunately, but I want to see Johnny Gargano walk out as the new United States champion and go into WrestleMania as the United States champion.
It would be great. I do think the issue with Johnny is, number one, he's always better as the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always better as a guy chasing than he is as a champion.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I've seen so far, he has not gotten the reaction that he was getting on NXT. I mean, him and Candace, same thing. And I just don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know if it's just because the main roster WWE fan wasn't really the NXT fan.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're not as invested in him. I think he needs a better story. I think he needs to be chasing somebody for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing the strap on him and letting him have a banger of a match. Yeah, I don't know that it's not the role for him, and I don't know that he's ready for that spot, but we shall see.
The history of Montreal wrestling is a rich and storied one. Of course, you all know about 1997. You know about the Survivor Series. You know about the screw job. Are you kidding me? That was a dark day for our city. But our city's wrestling story is about much more than a single cold night in November over 25 years ago.
Good night from Montreal.
It's about Rick Martel, Ivan Koloff, Dino Bravo, Mad Dog and Luna Vachon, the Rougeau brothers, the incomparable Pat Patterson, so many others. These are the men and women who built the legendary Montreal wrestling scene. Now, the 1997 Survivor Series was the first major WWE event to take place here. It happened in this building.
You are looking live at the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
But it's not the only one. Montreal has played host to a cavalcade of memorable WWE superstars and the moments they create.
It is a matchup from arguably the two most influential figures in sports entertainment history. Austin is back! Cena is now a 6-time champion.
But rarely has it seen one of its own do the headlining. That is until two men arrived.
My name is Kevin Owens, and I'm going to change everything. from Montreal, Canada, Sami Zayn.
What an incredible moment.
Two men whose path to WWE seemed impossible. Two men who didn't fit the bill. Two men who refused to give up. Two of our own.
I can say with absolute certainty that without you, I would have never gotten to WWE.
One of those men has already climbed the mountaintop. His friend, well, he took a bit of a detour. But this Saturday, he arrives. He realizes his dream.
I am coming after you and the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship!
In front of his people. In front of his family. In front of us. In the same building he debuted almost 8 years ago. This Saturday, a Montrealer goes for gold in La Belle Province. It may never happen again. Sami Zayn faces Roman Reigns, an imposing champion who has systematically stomped out each and every challenger who has dared stand opposed to him.
I want you in Montreal because you broke up my family. I'm gonna break you in front of your entire family.
But while Sami Zayn may be facing Roman Reigns one-on-one, he will not be entering that ring alone. He enters with every legend who built this rich wrestling scene symbolically by his side, willing him to the top. Saturday, one of our own finally gets his chance. And in doing so, he'll etch his name in the story Montreal wrestling history books forever.
And now let's get to our main event for the Undisputed Universal Championship. Roman Reigns will be defending his title against Sami Shmuley Zayn. So this is a big one. Tom, I'm not even going to ask you who's going to win this. What I'm going to ask you is, how does the Montreal Screwjob happen? Because I think we could probably put the rent money on Roman Reigns retaining.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So
I made this sign. I made the sign that says, "If Sami Zayn loses, we riot." In Montreal.
They're polite Canadians. I don't know how much of a riot it's going to be. I mean, they might, I don't know. What are they gonna? They're gonna throw their Montreal, their Yuppie dolls at people. That's about all they could do. He's going to lose. This is. Is there any argument you're making that somehow he walks out of there as champion?
No. No. Yeah. Roman Reigns is definitely retaining his title.
Yep.
As of today, he's hit 900 days as the as Universal Champion. And I don't think he's losing at Elimination Chamber.
He's not, and they've obviously set up everything for Cody. As much as the one thing I know from Raw is they tried to make you believe that Cody, a pump up face Cody speech is going to somehow push Sami over the top. It's not. So the question is, how does it happen? There's going to be that moment. There's going to be. I will put money on a ref bump. There's going to be a ref bump that is going to cost Sami. They're going to count to 30, and it doesn't matter because there's not going to be a ref. Is it Jimmy? Is it Jay? Is it Solo Sikoa? Who is the guy that screws Sami over here?
I'm making the call of the year. It's going to be Jay. Jay is going to screw over Sami Zayn, and that is going to result in Roman Reigns retaining his title.
I would agree, and I'll say this. I think, and I know they're trying to leak this, and they're trying to. Apparently, Jimmy is allowed to go into Canada, which again, because of his little, driving problems. He had to get cleared for that. So they've teased that. But I do think that is a bit of a misdirection there. I don't think he's going to be the guy that costs them. I think it's going to be this story of Jay and Sammy and him walking out, and why did he turn his back on the bloodline? He bought into it, and ultimately it's either going to lead to a singles match between the two of them, or maybe again this is all right, Kevin Owens comes out, makes the save. Somehow the hometown heroes do stand tall at the end of this, and now you go with a Kevin and Sammy versus the Usos for the title at Mania. There's stuff I like about that. Listen, if you've been watching as long as we have, and maybe even for me watching Ring of Honor a little bit more, this story goes back years and years and years, and maybe it's enough already with, are they friends? Are they enemies? Do they love each other? Do they hate each other? I'm talking Kevin, Sammy here. But we're still invested in it, and I do think they're going to position those guys at least to look good at the end of the night in their hometowns.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. So that is all the time we have for this episode. But before we go, what was your favorite moment from AEW Dynamite last night?
I don't know, because I didn't get the chance. Again, I didn't get a chance to watch Raw. I didn't get a chance to watch Dynamite. I have not even read anything that happened. I don't know. But I'll give you this one. New Japan had a show over the weekend. It was New Beginning in Osaka. Banger of a match between Jay White and Hikuleo. Jay White lost. It was a loser leaves Japan match. So Jay White is no longer allowed to work in Japan. So the Jay White free agency watch is back on. You can start booking where he's going to go. So that was great. Tama Tonga and El Phantasmo had a great match, and Shingo and Okada can never put on a bad match. So big pay-per-view this weekend too.
I've got a question for you. Do you think Jay White shows up at WrestleMania?
Boy, I don't know. I think he's got options. I would love to see him in AEW just because I think he's a little better suited for that. But if the money's right, he'll be there. I just don't know what type of reaction that gets at Mania, because that's not really his crowd. So I'm not really sure. Yeah. But I would, I'd say 50-50. He's going to want to, which one he's going to. I don't have it's a coin flip. What was the best part of Dynamite? You'll have to fill me in.
So probably for me was Mark Briscoe against Josh Woods. That was a really good match. But after Dynamite went off the air, I think really touched me was when Tony Khan announced that Mark Briscoe is officially signed to All Elite Wrestling. I thought that was a really heartfelt moment for me, and it's just cool to finally see that Mark Briscoe is now All Elite.
Yeah, sad that it had to happen this way, but that's the way it goes.
Well, that's going to do it for us for Shmuley Berkowitz.
My beard's not that long.
For Shmuley Berkowitz, I'm Thomas Emeric. We'll see you next week as we recap the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event. But until then, we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors.
À Montréal, les superstars, l'excitation, l'action, la force, le courage, la chance. Dans n'importe quelle langue, c'est brutal.